Hello and welcome to Behind the Lens, an inside look at what it's like to gather TV news. I'm Stuart Pittman, Chief Photojournalist for QCN Plus, and I'm so glad you're here. Today, we're diving into the white stuff. So, you want to be a snow-tographer? Fine. First, you'll need some dirty weather, a proper wardrobe, and perhaps a willing partner.
Can you not do this?
Either way, you will be tested.
I believe that I can do this.
But don't worry, they're having pizza back in the newsroom. Yes, they are eating pizza back in the newsroom. And joining me to discuss just how that feels are three veteran photojournalists who know all about storm coverage: Kevin Pinto, Corey Epps, and Brian Christensen. Hello, gentlemen.
Hello there.
Ooh.
Hi.
How was this last weekend?
I'd rather not talk about it.
Is that because you spent most of it chasing snow and ice and whatnot?
No, it's because I slept maybe 45 minutes inside the recording studio next to this one.
Yeah, that's a hot, sweaty place.
Yeah.
I would not recommend
No,
that.
don't. 1 star.
But aside from sleeping in the TV station, let's start with you, Brian. How did you spend your weekend?
Well, got up really early, worked most of the day. Then I got a call from my boss asking me to come back to work so I would be safely at work safe the next morning.
Man, who would do that?
I don't know, but they should have a drug test.
Hey.
But it was about 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and it was absolutely icing and snowing and completely unsafe, and people shouldn't be driving at that time of day.
Yeah.
But anyway, I made it to work on time, safe, whatever else, so I could be there the following morning for our live, a very pretty live shots of
Sure.
Caked over, snowed 85. Looked really good. I'm glad my boss called me in.
Well, we thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Moving on to a better attitude, let's talk to Corey Epps, because Corey also spent the weekend chasing snow, slush, ice, sleet, whatever it was that fell. And we should tell everyone that we had a big weather event this past weekend, and we're having a bigger weather event this weekend. So snow is in the air, it's coming down, and it's making us all work really long hours. Corey, you worked really long hours this last weekend chasing snow, didn't you?
Yeah, I was at the Le Meridian in Uptown, so it wasn't as bad as it could have been. Great hotel. It was a great hotel, by the way. But anyway, we started out at the Grady Cole Center where they had like the people coming in for like the warming shelter, and we couldn't get much video. But anyway, met Sheriff McFadden there. It was cool, first night.
Sure.
It's like it was fun, but then like it started coming down, and it's hard to we have to protect your gear and all
Right.
that kind of stuff. So just having to deal with that was interesting. But Saturday was cool. Marshall Park Pond was like frozen over.
Yeah.
So I woke up early and just went out and took some pictures and stuff,
Sure.
just for like social media or whatever. And then I went out and saw the pond. I saw like geese in the middle of the pond. So like the edges of the pond were like frozen. So I'm like,
Right.
that should be a live shot later because I'm sure it's going to freeze over even more. So
No doubt.
yeah, that was a pretty good weekend.
Let's roll some video of our cruise from this weekend and talk about the mechanics of it, because we don't want people driving in dangerous conditions. We tend to send them out ahead of the storm to get them intentionally trapped somewhere. And that sounds weird, but if we can send someone to a location that we know is going to get storms and snow, then they're safely there already giving us live shots. And you guys are pretty much camped out and somewhat trapped sometimes before the snow melts. I think we've all gone out of town and stayed in a hotel and spent the whole weekend trapped in the snow in the mountains. And man, if I don't ever do that again, that's fine by me.
Stuart, I'm upset that you didn't ask me what I did.
Yes, let's get to Kevin, because
You just went down the line here
well, all right.
and ignored me.
Well, again,
Unbelievable.
we're also joined by photojournalist Kevin Pinto, who doesn't get outside a lot anymore.
No.
Kevin, how'd you spend this weekend?
Well,
Pressing your buttons.
I stayed. No, I didn't even do that. Lila was pressing my buttons, and the dog. So that's what I did. I'm gonna show you a video real quick, see if it
Oh yeah, here
how
we
it
go.
plays out.
So this is.
That's Lila.
Oh,
This is what else you know.
I think I'd rather chase snow. Nothing against Lila, but that's a handful, bro. I've been there. She's
Yeah.
adorable.
Look at her go.
Can she shoot snow coverage for us next week?
Yeah, we could try. This is the result later on of that as well.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
that looks like Brian in the audio booth.
Wow. If you can record that
That's Stuart midday.
her angle next time, so we're all super dizzy.
Of course.
wow.
Well, clearly Kevin was digging deep and doing everything he could for his TV station this week.
I did because you made my wife work, and so you can't have both of us apparently.
Well,
And
one can dream.
yeah, so I had to take care of Lila and Oliver, and yeah, that was exhausting. I give Jenna a lot of credit
Yes.
because she
Yes.
does take care of her a lot more than I do.
Yes.
Um,
And she very much wanted to be home instead of where she was this weekend. Where was Jenna?
for
Jenna
sure,
was-
she was doing just fine. Don't you worry. She was with
Oh, that's
Maureen.
She and Maureen
at
were-
Maureen's apartment and
Yeah.
having pancakes and stuff.
Yeah,
So
tough duty.
yeah, they were doing just fine. I'm going to tell you that right now. Meanwhile, yeah, I was trying to figure out how to be Mr. Mom this weekend. So
Well, I mean,
Awesome.
you're a kid. Come on.
yeah, hey,
All right.
everyone survived. We had a blast. I didn't let her see snow because sorry, I know we're going off a little bit. You can
Yeah.
hear more on Tired Parents Club, my show.
Oh, here we go.
We got to do a plug service over here, right?
It's a crossover event.
Yes,
Yeah,
we're a
it is.
crossover event. But no, she was great. I didn't let her see the snow yet because didn't feel like snow. It was more ice. I feel like she didn't get the real stuff. And Jenna shed a tear when I told her I was going to let Lila see her first snow without her.
Jenna
so-
shed a tear?
I know. Well, she's very emotional about Lila. She wants to see her first.
Well,
She missed Oliver's first snow
Yeah.
in Colorado, and boy, that was a blast.
Oliver
I
the
felt bad
dog?
for her. Yes,
Mm.
because he was running around. He was playing with collies. He never plays with animals.
That was a blast. Watch the dog or
To
watch your wife say, "I'm mad at you."
We all like to poke at our wives sometimes, right? When it comes to that, so
Okay.
whatever.
Okay. Well, this has been lovely. Talk about our
Yeah.
significant others,
Yeah.
and but nonetheless, back to snow.
All right.
There's something weird hanging off the microphone. Sorry. So covering snow is a lesson in discomfort. Corey, how do you dress for the snow? I know you dress warm and wrap up, but are there certain things you have to think about? Because you could be standing out in the snow for a day or two.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny you brought that up because I had to learn everything I know about snow. I learned doing this job.
Yeah.
I never drove in the snow before. I never really seen a lot of snow. I'm from Georgia, so
Sure.
we didn't see a lot of snow. But anyway, right now I wear a simple pair of polo
Mhm.
underpants, which they've been working great.
Hey
Like,
now.
and one simple thermal undershirt that works great.
Okay. Okay.
Because like in the beginning, I wore like multiple jackets, multiple shirts, two pairs of pants.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'll be warm, but be like really uncomfortable. So
Yeah. Can't move. You're
Just-
you're so bundled up.
mhm.
Brian, how do you dress?
Well, he always looks fantastic, by the way.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he does. He's very fashionable.
Yeah, not to give the anything away, but it's kind of always some type of flannel
Sure.
and maybe a couple of jackets if
Sure.
necessary needed. But
Yeah.
it's always two socks, two
Yeah.
pairs of socks. That's like the secret
Well,
because
With that knowledge in mind, how to dress for the storm, and with the experience of having to be out there, is there advice you give your family or other people as to how to either dress or how to stay out of the snow? I mean, I know people ask you about it because they see it on the news and they think you know everything, yada yada yada.
they don't
Um,
think that. But
Well,
thanks.
I mean, I know, but certainly they've got to ask you about stuff that you see in the snow.
Well, the first question is, do you ever have any time off? I'm like, no. I want to, in case your house doesn't have any windows, it's
Right.
my job to show you what it's like outside.
Yes, and you do a fantastic job. Amid all the complaining, you nail it. You nail it.
If you're not complaining, you're not a photon.
Thanks.
Well, I say, have one good coat.
Yeah.
One good coat, at
Yeah,
least
yeah.
one good coat. Because if you try to get out there in your stylish jean jacket or some little small coat, you're going to be cold. You're
Right,
going to freeze your butt off. So
Yeah.
you need at least one good coat.
Yeah, fashion is not important when you're a human snowman out there.
No, I agree with the two socks though. I do. I have some really really thick socks, so
Right.
that way I don't have to have the two. But I have a drawer at my house, just full of the bottom winter stuff that I need, and it's that. I have the ski mask. Looks like I'm gonna rob something.
Right.
And then some good gloves. And Jenna got me those warmers or whatever that are now electric.
Mhm.
All right, not the ones that you have to like pop and put them in your glove or whatever. Electric ones, man, that worked really really well.
Boot socks and winter boots. definitely.
Yes.
I don't have winter boots. I have,
Or you have more shoes than most people have.
Right. Yeah.
Spoons. So I get it.
Shakira's still probably wearing her Jordans out there.
Right. Because if you don't have any tread, you're going to fall over.
Right.
Yeah.
You're going to go ice skating, and it's not going to work out well.
Yeah. Speaking of that, Stuart, didn't you fall?
Wow.
Recent-
Transition.
I pushed right on him into it.
I fell yesterday at the station outside on the ice, and I landed on my middle finger.
How come you didn't? Which one?
It's the one in the middle,
Oh, okay.
and I'm pretty sure I broke it because it kept me up all night.
Oh,
But enough about me. Enough about me. We're gonna.
Did they record it on their surveillance video?
They may have. There may.
Oh,
be-
we gotta search for that one.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Well, so much about me. Let's talk about snow. But before we talk about snow and break down the mechanics of how you cover snow, sleet, ice, whatever, let's take a quick break. And we're back to Behind the Lens, talking about winter snow coverage. I say snow, but it could be sleet, could be rain, could be any kind of uncomfortable weather in the winter. Doesn't really matter what it is. We're stuck out there bringing the pictures to the public. But it's not always easy. We've talked about the mechanics of what you might wear and prepare. What do you have to do to your gear? Let me ask you that, because say you're out there and snow, sleet, rain's coming down. Cameras and rain don't do well. If my children know anything, it's that cameras and rain don't do well because I complained about it all their lives. What do you do, Corey, to protect your gear?
yeah, that's funny you bring that up because Sunday, when the second wave came through, it was a challenge, but I was able to do it. I have 2 old raincoats,
Yeah.
like thick raincoats, like nothing will penetrate them. So
Sure.
I cover it with a trash bag, my camera with a trash bag, and I lay one coat on the ground, put one coat over the top, and I just like kind of tuck it.
Right.
And like Sunday was bad because it was like pelting ice, just pelting in my
Yeah.
face. So it was like hard to deal with, but protect the camera.
Well, I mean, it doesn't matter how you protect the camera as long as you do. We do have a couple of customized camera covers. We don't have enough, but even the customized camera covers aren't worth a damn, to be honest. If it's not for trash bags and coats, that kind of unglamorous thing, our cameras wouldn't survive.
Yeah, because you have to keep the camera outside in the elements because you don't want to go from outside into the car back outside because the lens will fog over. So I just have to
Yes.
do the best I can to try to protect it,
Yeah,
while it's outside.
every photographer has had a lens fog over, and it's really difficult to defog a lens quickly.
Oh yeah. Well,
And in news, you got to do everything quickly.
in Florida, it was the worst. Humidity, honestly, was kind of the worst. So I would tuck a towel into the lens, and leave that in the whole time because it would actually block out the cold air from your car. And so when you actually brought it outside, it didn't fog up as much, or it wouldn't
Right.
take as long. But it was hard to fight. But that was the secret, was to put a towel into the lens.
I mean, I can only imagine in Florida, you have to turn the heater on top of the heat
Yeah,
to
you're
fog the lens. That's fun.
it was rough. And there's times if you forgot or whatever, I mean, you could be waiting 15, 20 minutes. Now you're trying to do an interview and you're like, sorry.
Yep.
But these pictures are cool, right? You can see that everyone has bags on them. Someone had like I don't know what, some kind of mask on their face.
That was me.
Oh,
that you?
Corey. He was either going to rob a
Gosh,
bank.
Yeah.
There.
That was intense.
These are pictures from this very past weekend in which, except for that one, in which we covered
Yeah.
covered some sleet, snow. What was that came down? Frozen and
Frozen tundra, just icicle madness.
yeah. It doesn't really matter when you're out there.
It was funny because our weatherman Brandon was like, "Oh, well,
Meteorologist.
meteorologist."
Meteorologist.
Oh, boy. I'll bleep it out. Don't worry.
He was talking about the glazed donut versus the sprinkled donut technique.
Yeah.
I felt that Sunday. Like,
Yes.
You
the
still like
ice
the donut?
pelting my face.
Right.
Wind just made it just go toward my face. Like I literally thought my face was cut at one time.
Oh
It's
no.
like, man.
That beard? Come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
Did it like sprinkle out of the beard? I went outside for like 5 seconds.
That's a
Not
good
you
look.
guys. But it got strapped into your beard. But it like, especially with the sleet,
That's-
it was on my head, and I came out, and it was just
Yeah.
pouring out.
Yeah.
Like exfoliating,
Oh, it's a good look. It's a good look. But it's not just about looks, and we're not just out there
Being models.
talking into the void and being models. What the producers, what the suits back at the station really want is interaction with the public. We want to hear not just from the reporters, kicking at the ice with their feet. We want to hear what the real people out there might have to say. Brian, you were out this weekend, and you had a fine example of getting an interview that was lovely, but maybe didn't quite go as planned. Tell me, let's set that up. What are we about to watch?
We're in downtown Fort Mill. They shut the entire main street down because it was completely unsafe. It's a hill, and I can only imagine what it would have been like for anyone to drive down and end up at the train tracks down
Sure.
there. It's just Alicia, our main evening anchor, and myself, and
Sure.
we're literally just, this is downtown Fort Mill, and it became a little stale because there's nobody nearby. We see this family kind of walking towards us who are making snow angels.
Yeah.
And they're just like, hey, you know, the kids are 3, 4, maybe something like that. Anyway, I'll let you take a look.
Let's look at the clip and see that sometimes things don't always go as planned.
But the whole area here on Main Street is blocked off, and these barricades are up. That's what I wanted to be able to show you here. This went up around 3:45 this morning, is what officials tell us. Most people have been staying off the roads, but we are at this time starting to see more families, more kids come out, and look at how beautiful the snow is. If you look way down that street, we saw some people, but this is what really captured my attention. The Hudson family over here, I got to show you this, guys. Look, even Mama's out here doing snow angels with her kids. Olivia, Elena, they said, you know what, Alicia, we just want to come out here and play a little bit. This is a safe area. No reason to be able to be concerned. Elena, Olivia, look at me, guys. Can you guys say hi?
Say hey.
We're on live television. Can you say hi? Can I see a snow angel that you do? Can I see you do a snow angel?
You want to show her?
You want to show me? You want to show me do a snow angel? Okay, that's okay. Hey, that's all right. This is their fun time. You're cold, but you're dressed the part. You're cold?
Hang on, guys.
You took your gloves off.
You took your gloves off. You got to put your gloves on, don't you think?
I didn't want it.
You didn't? Are you having fun out here?
Yes, I know.
Okay.
We've all
this is
been there.
Where did the bomb go? She just leave?
I don't know, man. Children are awesome on camera.
Yes.
Oh,
They can't
wait
go
just a
wrong.
second. Wait.
My hand.
Oh, I'm sorry. You said your hands are cold, so we're going to put your gloves back on, okay? See, Daddy has your...
No.
Okay. We'll get it together and make sure she's happy.
Man, we've all felt that way out there.
Yes.
You have a smile on your face. How are you doing?
My hands are good.
Oh, they are.
There we go.
Oh, okay.
Finally,
Yeah,
dragons.
okay. I mean, that's lovely, and kids can't go wrong, and kids are wonderful television, especially during something as unimportant as a snow angel party. But hearing that kid little flip out a bit was delicious, and we played that in the newsroom about 100 times.
Oh, good. Fantastic. See, it was 10 minutes before that when we were waiting to be taken. That's when the kids were like, oh, we're doing snow angels. And I was kind of like, slow your roll. Don't get too cold. And, they continued, and therefore, there we go. A couple quick things, logistics about this that I don't think other people know are when you see the live shot, or if you go back to Alicia standing there, her microphone, it's got a cord. I wanted to make sure that the audio was fine. We had to walk about 20 feet or so to that family.
Yeah.
I have to be aware of where that cord is as I'm stepping over it. Oh, by the way, I also have to be aware of where the curb is.
Sure.
And the parking, where, you park your car or whatever. There was another one of those little barriers. So as you're doing this snow coverage stuff, your situational awareness has to be at 1,000%.
Yeah. You're
and to
walking
see
blind.
everything. And especially when you're walking backwards, because that's always safe.
Sure.
But yeah.
Well, you did almost a 360, and
Yeah.
so you can lose yourself really quick
Yes.
while you're rotating. Was it hard to not? Were you laughing behind the camera or just?
Is that why it's shaking? Is that what you're saying?
No. I just assumed.
I was dying. I was absolutely laughing so hard. And when I knew I could see her face, I'm like, this is about to be TV gold.
Sure.
I was like, this is going to hurt. And I squatted down, and it was some yoga pose to get down to her level and to see that. But that was
Things the
Thank
viewer never thinks about, shouldn't have to think about.
right.
But part of this whole podcast streaming thing we're doing is trying to explain to people what all goes into TV photojournalism in case they were ever curious. There's a lot more to snow coverage. We're going to get to most of it right after we come back. And we're back to Behind the Lens, talking about snow coverage, snow, sleet, rain, any kind of inclement, dirty weather that no one wants to be in. It's our job to be out there and let people know what it's like. And that can't always be pleasant, can it, Brian?
No. No.
I mean, I was gonna ask, where did you guys end up staying? Corey, you said you were in a nice, comfy hotel. I think a 5-star
Room service?
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
in the Le Meridian in Uptown,
Man.
and it's I got a decent amount of sleep. But like the first night, I didn't because who knew what would happen the next day? So
Yeah.
I got up early. I walked around. I was by Marshall Park. Walked down toward the courthouse.
Well, because everyone was coming in Saturday, right? They all thought it was supposed to happen Saturday, and then Saturday just ended up kind of being a flop, and then it
Yeah.
started happening near the night, I guess.
Yes.
I slept in my bed.
I slept
that was
on the
cool.
floor in an
Congratulations.
edit bay. And I had a mattress that was filled up at the beginning of the evening,
Mm.
but by the time I woke up, I was lying on the floor. If you've
You
never
sound like every relative that stays with me. Yeah, like, oh, your mattress was on the floor when I woke up in the morning. Oh, then you buy it.
Well,
No.
if you've never slept on the floor of an edit bay, there's stale Cheetos down there.
Nice, some snacks.
There's some dust bunnies. It was a fun evening, but I was there maybe 4 hours. Brian, you picked a very hot audio booth to sleep in. What's up with that?
Well, if I had been called earlier to have arrived at the station to have been able to pick out a room to actually sleep in,
Who called you?
I don't know, some jerk.
Ooh, this one?
My review was already last week, so
Yeah,
I'm good. No, actually, a lot of reporters were already on one side of the building.
Yeah.
Most of the rooms were taken.
Yeah.
And so there was one little edit bay available. And after my 45 minutes of sleep, in between 3 hours, I finally gave up, and I walk out and I look at the meeting area of the editorial room, and I'm like, no one is asleep on the sofa. Why not? So I tried to for about 15 minutes, and so at 3:15 I was wide awake, and I'm like, all right, good thing I worked morning shifts in the past,
Yeah.
because it kind of just comes right back to you, and you've got that adrenaline, whatever, for the rest of the day. until
I'm
you
not
crash out.
sleeping on
So-
that stinky sofa.
I had 2 blankets underneath me and a pillow, and so I was not literally touching it. So
That audio booth is everything, isn't it? It's a changing room. It's people record their audio in there sometimes.
Sometimes.
Or they sleep.
I
That
might
couch
have-
is nasty.
I
though.
might have had nightmares about what it was like sleeping inside of a sardine can.
Doesn't Eric sleep there sometimes when he's waiting for his story?
Well, this was the
I'll be
first
watching
time-
this.
This was the first time I've slept inside of it. Well, spent the night sleeping inside of a TV station. I mean, I've been in news all my life, but I've always been the tip of the spear out there in the live truck. So to sleep inside in the newsroom was unsettling, and I would like to not repeat it.
But
Yeah.
the thing about it, though, is we are laughing, we're smiling about this because when we're all together, that camaraderie, you can't beat it. It's
It was
something
fun.
because we all know what we have to get past in order to get through whatever else. We need each other. And
Yeah.
so that's something that I drove through the ice late in the day where I shouldn't have
To come hang out.
to come hang out.
Yeah.
literally.
I've mentioned this before. My wife works in a very sterile corporate environment where everything is professional, and I'm sure it's fantastic. I don't want that. I want to work in a newsroom where I can throw a phone book at a colleague and not get in trouble.
Tita.
It's just a loose environment. We were trapped here all weekend, but we had fun and we ate well. I must say, our people fed
Yeah,
us.
I saw the video of Casey
We
cooking
ate
you,
well.
grilling out some food and everything. I was like, all right, that looked pretty good. I could have drove 5 minutes.
Yeah,
to
I
cook that.
scrambled eggs.
That's what I like seeing, though. I like seeing some people post the pictures online. I like
Yeah.
seeing people in the newsroom happy, eating and just.
Yeah, it's so
When
rare.
it was time to go on TV, everybody came together and we made that thing happen.
Oh, yeah, people were playing like card games and
Yeah.
hopscotch and stuff, and it just looked like a fun sleepover. But you're all here to work. It's just when you had that 12 hours on, 12 hours off. I mean, you got to try to lighten it up. And but yeah, you guys build that relationship a lot more, right? When you're here packed in like sardines in audio booths and sales department rooms and all the other stuff. So.
Well, if the idea of having a very inconvenient weekend, whether sleeping on a newsroom floor or being out there in the middle of the muck, if that kind of thing doesn't appeal to you, get out of news. because this is what news is. I mean, this, when the public needs to know, of course we got to work. I mean, people complaining about working on the weekend. I get it. No one wants to work on the weekend. If you don't like it, go sell shoes. This is news. This is what it's all about. This should excite you.
Yeah, I can't imagine doing anything else, man. Because I see a lot of stuff that people don't get to see. We tell people to stay home, but I'm out in the elements driving.
Yeah.
And it's cool. You'll see people like, sadly in accidents. But then you go down the street, you see people like sledding. Yeah. I remember one year I saw a couple skiing, like literally skiing in South End. I had to get video.
You don't do that every day.
Yeah, no, I was seeing videos of people like skiing, ice skating and stuff, and like other places, not here obviously, but like ice skating on the streets. It's like, how do you even
to see the ATVs, race down the street with snow and everything was comical and fun.
Yeah.
So,
well, we're in for another round of winter weather. I sound like a weatherman. We're in for another round of winter weather, and like I said, last week was ice and sleet. This week it's supposed to be light, fluffy, fun snow, but it doesn't really matter. We got to work anyway. I know that both Corey and Brian are sort of on standby. We may call them if we have to, but we're going to try really hard not to.
thanks.
Kevin's going to be in here eating.
No, I wish.
Sandwiches.
Oh man, we're peeing through a bottle here. We're taking like 2 or 3 hour shifts or something. I think we're still trying to plan it out. But we'll be doing a live stream.
We'll be doing a live stream all day.
For 12 hours or something like that. Bringing in, having people call in, letting us know what they see in their neighborhood.
Sure.
Like all you guys. I expect a phone call from all of you. Tell me what's going down in your town.
The viewer at home shouldn't have to worry about how inconvenient it is for us, but it's fun to talk about it anyway. So I thank you guys for joining us. Brian, Corey, even Kevin. I appreciate it. And we'll be back next week or in a couple of weeks with another Behind the Lens. But for now, thanks for watching and stay safe out there.
Hey, raise your hand if you're ready for this weekend. Just Corey. Bye.
Corey.
Bye.
Corey.
Queen City News Plus. Just search Queen City News on your smart TV's app store.